The Samsung Galaxy Note 8 is finally here. So it's been announced by Samsung this week, and I've actually done an in-depth comparison between the Note 8 and the Samsung Galaxy S8 Plus. So yeah, in case you've missed that, the link for that video is in the description. But now let's take a look and see how the Note 8 compares to the iPhone 7 Plus. Now, I know Apple will be releasing the iPhone 8 in a month, so in September. So that would actually be a pretty fair comparison. But still, I just want to see how Apple's iPhone 7 Plus compares to the Samsung Galaxy Note 8. So as always, grab some whatever you want to grab.
Grab them by the...
And enjoy. Okay, so starting off with the design. Design-wise, these two phones are two very different smartphones. So the iPhone 7 Plus comes with a design that we've actually gotten so used to ever since 2014. The Samsung Galaxy Note 8, however, this one comes with an S8 style design. So a massive infinity display, so almost no bezels on the front. And then the Note 8 simply looks amazing. I mean, just take a look at this phone. It looks like a 2020 phone. Whereas the iPhone 7 Plus is still stuck in 2014. Now this will obviously change in a month's time when the iPhone 8 comes out, so that's going to be the biggest change since the original iPhone. But yeah, for now the iPhone 7 Plus has the same design as the iPhone 6s and the iPhone 6 in 2014. Now when it comes to the dimensions, there is a pretty massive difference between these two phones. I mean, yes, the Note 8 is the larger of the bunch. It's actually 4mm taller, which is quite a pretty significant increase in height. And then it's also 1.3mm thicker than the iPhone 7 Plus. But then the iPhone 7 Plus is actually 3mm wider. So therefore, same as with the Samsung Galaxy S8 Plus, the Note 8 is actually easier to hold in the hand than the iPhone 7 Plus. But now it does come with a massive 6.3 inches display, even larger than the Samsung Galaxy S8 Plus came with. Now, speaking of the display, just take a look at how big of a difference there is between the S8 Plus and the iPhone 7 Plus. So they almost have the exact same size, yet the Samsung Galaxy S8 Plus comes with a massive 6.2 inches display. And the same thing applies to the Note 8, which comes with an even larger 6.3 inches display. Now, when it comes to the resolution, we have a 1080p display on the iPhone 7 and the iPhone 7 Plus, which actually translates to a PPI of 401. Now on the Note 8 we have 2960 by 1440, which actually translates to a PPI of 521. So there's a pretty massive difference, not just in the display size, but also in the display resolution. So the Note 8's display, especially with that infinity bezel-less display, is so much sharper and also more colorful than the iPhone 7 Plus's display. Now the biggest difference between these two is the fact that the Note 8 actually comes with an OLED display, whereas the iPhone 7 Plus still comes with an LCD panel. And basically all you need to know is that an OLED display means that you can get perfect black levels and also amazing colors and amazing viewing angles. I mean, once you see a display like this in person, this is the best mobile display that you can get, period. Now, spec-wise, this is a very different story, because the iPhone 7 Plus simply just blows the Note 8 out of the water. Get it? Because the Note 7? Okay. So the Note 8 basically comes with the exact same specs as the Samsung Galaxy S8 did. So that's a Snapdragon 835 or an Exynos 8895 depending on the region. And the iPhone 7 Plus comes with the Apple A10 processor. Now the Exynos 8895, for example, scored 1974 for the single core score and 6339 for the multi-core in Geekbench 4, which is actually a pretty good score. It's actually one of the best scores you can get for an Android phone. Actually, the best score that you can get for an Android phone, that's obviously if you don't count, you know, the phones that cheated. And now the Apple A10 scored 3576 for the single core and 6029 for the multi-core, which is just a massive score. I mean, even, just to give you an idea, in Geekbench 4, even a 200-point difference is pretty significant. But the iPhone 7 Plus is 1600 plus points ahead in the single core department, at least from the Samsung Galaxy Note 8. So the iPhone 7's processor, the Apple A10 chip, is actually comparable to mid-range Intel i5 processors, which is just crazy. And speaking of this, the Apple 11 chip, which is going to be included with the iPhone 8, is going to be even more powerful, much more powerful than the Apple A10 chip. So pretty impressive. Okay, so what about the amount of RAM? So RAM-wise, we get 3 gigabytes on the iPhone 7 Plus, and on the Note 8, we actually get double that. So we get 6 gigabytes of RAM on the Samsung Galaxy Note 8. Now, we don't know how fluid the Note 8 is with 6 gigabytes of RAM, because the Samsung Galaxy S8, by the way, with 4 gigabytes, was pretty laggy. Now, this was mostly because of Bixby and the Google Assistant both running in the background at the same time. Now, of course, that you can disable all these. You can even disable pretty much every single Samsung bloatware to free up memory. But I mean, most people won't be doing this. So out of the box, the Samsung Galaxy S8 was pretty laggy, and the Note 8 shouldn't be as laggy as the S8 was because it comes with 6 gigabytes. But still, RAM management on iOS is just so good. I've actually done quite a few ultimate speed tests comparing the iPhone 7 and even the iPhone 6s, which by the way come with 2 gigabytes of RAM, versus phones such as the S8, the S7, the OnePlus 2, for example. Those phones actually come with 4 gigabytes of RAM. And the iPhones with only 2 gigabytes of RAM outperformed all of these phones with 4 gigabytes by a mile. So definitely check out these videos. They're pretty interesting. It's pretty interesting to see all the performance differences between these phones. Okay, so what about the camera? Everyone cares about the camera. Which phone has a better camera? Well, they're actually pretty similar. So both phones actually come with 12 megapixel sensors. I'm talking about the back-facing camera. And also both phones now come with a dual camera module on the back. So the S8 didn't come with one, but the Note 8 comes with one. Now, there are a few differences between the back-facing cameras and everything, and here's all of these. So the Note 8 comes with an f1.7 aperture versus f1.8 on the iPhone 7 Plus. So it's actually better in low light. And then on the telephoto lens, for example, the iPhone 7 Plus has an f2.8 aperture versus the Note 8, which comes with an f2.4 aperture, which again makes the telephoto lens even better in low light. And not only that, but the Note 8 now has OIS, or optical image stabilization, on both camera modules on the back-facing camera. So not just the main one like we have on the iPhone 7 Plus. So both the wide angle and the telephoto one have OIS, unlike the iPhone 7 Plus. And when it comes to the front-facing camera, there's quite a few differences here as well. So resolution-wise, we have a 7 megapixel sensor on the iPhone 7 Plus versus the 8 megapixel sensor on the Samsung Galaxy Note 8. But you probably know that megapixels don't affect image quality. They only affect the image size. So a big difference here would actually be the aperture size. So we have an f2.2 aperture on the iPhone 7 Plus's front-facing camera, and then we have a larger f1.7 on the Samsung Galaxy Note 8. So again, the Note 8 is better in low light, even when it comes to the front-facing camera, which, by the way, really cool fact about the Note 8 is that same as with the Galaxy S8, it also supports optical image stabilization on a front-facing camera, which is, I don't think there's that many phones that actually support this. There's like 4 phones in total, 4 flagship at least. So it's really awesome to see this on the Note 8. Okay, now when it comes to the video, all you need to know is that the Samsung Galaxy Note 8 actually takes higher quality video with the front-facing camera, so up to Quad HD resolution versus 1080p 30 on the iPhone 7 Plus. Now, both phones take 4K video at 30 frames per second, but the iPhone 7 Plus actually has a higher bitrate. And then it also handles video stabilization much better than the Samsung Galaxy S8 and the Note 8. And then finally, the iPhone 7 Plus features a much better quality when it comes to slow motion video. So they can both do 240 frames per second in 720p, but the iPhone 7 Plus's one is so much sharper. Now, when it comes to the special features, there's a lot to cover. So since I don't want to make this video 30 minutes long, I'm only going to tell you which phone has something that the other phone doesn't. So for example, let's start with the Samsung Galaxy Note 8. So the Samsung Galaxy Note 8 features microSD card support. It also features a better water resistance, so IP68 from IP67, like we had on the iPhone 7. And then wireless charging, which the iPhone doesn't. Fast charging with a fast charger included in the box, which again the iPhone doesn't. USB-C, the iPhone doesn't. Wireless, I already mentioned this. VR support with the Samsung Gear VR, a first-party VR headset, which again the iPhone doesn't have any VR headset, at least not sold by Apple. And then finally, the main feature of the Samsung Galaxy Note 8 is the S Pen, the stylus that's included into the phone. It's embedded into the phone, and then you can just take it out and you can take notes whenever you wish. And it also comes with a lot of features, like you can hover on a currency and it will actually convert that currency or even translate words into your language of choice. which is actually pretty useful. Okay, so what about the iPhone 7 Plus? Anything cool and unique that, the Note 8 doesn't come with? Well, one thing would be dual stereo speakers. The dual stereo speakers on the iPhone 7 just sound amazing, by the way. And then you also have 3Touch with haptic feedback, and that's actually across the entire section of the display. On the Note 8, you only have on the bottom section, which, only in the home button area. On the iPhone 7 and 7 Plus, you have this for the entire phone. And then probably a thinner design, and that'll be pretty much it. So yes, the Note 8 comes with a ton more features than the iPhone 7 Plus. Okay, so what about the battery? Which phone is going to last you longer? Well, the iPhone 7 Plus comes with a 2900 mAh battery versus the 3300 that we have on the Samsung Galaxy Note 8. So yeah, the Note 8 should theoretically last you longer. Also, the chip that's inside the Note 8 is based on a 10nm process, so it's more power efficient. And then iOS is actually pretty power efficient itself. So you won't actually be running into any major issues when it comes to the battery life with an iPhone 7 Plus at least. So yeah, overall, I would still say that the Note 8 comes with a better battery life. Okay, so now what about the capacity and the models? Well, the Note 8 comes in 64, 128, and also 256 gigabytes of storage. And on top of all this, you can actually expand this even further with a microSD card for up to 256 gigabytes of extra storage. Now, the model that you'll usually find in stores is only the 64 gigabyte model. That's what I've seen in pretty much all the countries. So 128 and 256 are a bit more exclusive and a bit more difficult to get. The iPhone 7 Plus comes in 32, 128 and 256 gigabytes, but then again, you have no option to expand this even further with a microSD card. Now, when it comes to the price, the Note 8 is pretty expensive. So the Note 8 actually starts at £870 in the UK. I think that's like $69 in the US, and then the iPhone 7 Plus starts at £720, but that's actually for the 32 gigabytes model. So that's with no SD card expansion and the baseline 32 gigabytes. 128 gigabytes starts at £820 or $869. So that's a bit more comparable to the Note 8. But then keep in mind that internal storage is so much faster than a microSD card would be. So 128 gigabytes, iPhone 7 Plus is much better in storage performance, at least in speeds, than a 64 gigabyte Note 8 plus a 64 gigabyte microSD card. Okay, so in the end, in conclusion, which phone is better? Well, overall, the Samsung Galaxy Note 8 is a better device. Now, the iPhone 7 Plus is faster and more fluid, but overall the Note 8 has a lot more to offer, even though it's more expensive. So which one should you get? Well, I would say don't get the iPhone 7 Plus because the iPhone 8, by the way, is coming out pretty soon. It's coming out next month in September. And by the way, I've actually done a video comparing the iPhone 8, the upcoming iPhone 8 versus the Samsung Galaxy S8. So in case you've missed that, and in case you're curious to see how the iPhone 8 would compare to the S8, definitely check out this video. Other than that, feel free to subscribe if you want to see more in-depth videos like this one. And also don't forget to enable notifications by simply tapping on that bell icon so that you're notified whenever I upload a brand new epic video. Let me know in the comments which phone would you actually pick? Would you pick the Note 8 or would you pick the iPhone 7 Plus, since the iPhone 7 Plus is cheaper? And by the way, once the iPhone 8 comes out, the iPhone 7 Plus is going to be even cheaper. So which one would you pick and why? But yeah, this has been pretty much it for now. So yeah, thank you for watching, and for those of you who made it until the end, I'm Daniel, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Son of Tech, signing out. Cheers.